All right. All right. Well, I'm recording and I'm going to share my screen. Good morning, everybody at home. So, my friends at home, you are going to need your EL Spiral. And if you, some of you picked up an EL workbook. So, if you have one of those, you're going to need that. If your parents have not yet done that or decided not to, then you are good. You just need your EL Spiral. All right, so if you want to go grab those real quick, you do need your EL Spiral. And if your adult picked up a workbook, you're going to need that too. All right. Okay. Here is, I'm going to go to present mode. I'm going to turn things on. Here we go. All right. Oh, I think I hear a couple voices. Oh, there we go. All right, overcoming learning challenges near and far. Who can tell me what we've been talking about and how that title relates to what we're studying? Abby. Oh, I don't. Go for it, Miss Abby. Well, South America is one of the places, right, that we learned about. So that's one of the far. What else? What else? Overcoming learning challenges near and far. All right, Marin. Chad was another country that and where was that again? Africa. So is that better, Mrs. Aubin? Yes. All right. We've learned about a couple different places. Overcoming learning challenges. What kind of challenges have we learned about already? Sunny. Okay, a place that didn't have their own school, of a school, and so they had to build it. Excellent. And what was our other learning challenge that we've learned up so far? I'll give you a hint. Waiting for the Billy-O Burro. Who remembers? Ellie? What was the challenge in that one? That's okay. What was the challenge in waiting for Billy-O Burro? That the teacher moved away and they had no books. Very good. But did they overcome those learning challenges? They sure did. Oh, I have two people in the waiting room. Got them. I think that's all right. I got them. All right. No worries. I'm going to put away my participants there. They're right in the middle of my thing there. All right. So our guiding questions today, and our guiding questions throughout this entire module are: why are education, books, and reading important? And we have talked about that if we don't have education and books and we don't learn, then we are going to have a struggle perhaps as an adult, right? And how we are going to overcome our own challenges. Hopefully in your head, over the time you've been thinking about how our challenges might be different than their challenges. And we know that we've all had a learning challenge this school year, right? Lots of different changes for school. I see some head shaking over here. There's a lot of different changes. My friends are at home, right? I have a lot of friends who are remote because that's the way they're feeling safe. So we've got a lot of different things that we're doing here, and we're going to learn today about another place and another situation where somebody is overcoming a learning challenge. So first of all, we're going to think about becoming ethical people. And we talked about that being an ethical person means treating others in a respectful way, all right? And appreciating their differences, their abilities, their qualities, and making sure that we don't feel sorry for them, we appreciate them. And the last one down here says, I behave with integrity. So yesterday we had to work pretty hard on some map stuff. And we know that sometimes for some people that's really difficult. So let's talk about what the word integrity means. My friends at home can hopefully see my word integrity. Integrity means doing the right thing even when it's difficult. So at my house last night, my son does not like to do the dishes. He will do about anything else, but he does not like to do the dishes. And so he tries to get out of it in any way possible. Like, oh no, I can't, how am I going to do this? So I have to remind him sometimes of integrity, that even when something is difficult, because it was his night to do the dishes and it was the right thing to do, he had to persevere and just get through it, even though he didn't like it. Some of you on that test yesterday for reading was a little hard for some people. And so working through it and doing your best, that's integrity. Doing your homework. Did all of us do our homework this week, hopefully, and got it turned in? And so if you did your homework, that shows integrity. You did it even though it might be hard. How about sometimes when something's hard and you want to see what is on somebody else's paper and your eyes look left or right, is that integrity? No, because again, it's doing the right thing even when it's hard. How about saying I'm sorry when you do something? Is that integrity? Yes. When you make a mistake, even if you didn't mean to, or if, especially if you did something, having an apology is showing integrity. And that is something that we're going to be talking about today, as well as, oh, here's Miss Haley coming in. All right. And today we're also going to be talking about empathy. Empathy, I think we've had this word a lot with Mrs. Ware. Who knows what empathy is? Empathy. Haley? Okay, it's understanding, right? Trying to understand how someone else feels. And so it doesn't mean feeling sorry for them. It's just trying to understand their perspective and how they're feeling. Very good. So today we're going to show some empathy in our story. While we're reading our story, we're going to imagine us being that character in the story and how we would feel if that was us in that situation. And trying to put ourselves in that in that perspective of that character. And the last one is compassion. Oh, I'll let in. Oh, Nicholas is here. Or actually, it's Noah, but it came under Nicholas. Hi, Noah. From Vale, coming in from Vale. So our first word is compassion. Our next word is compassion. So compassion goes along with empathy. I have a Noah. I have a Noah in my class. He's in Vale today, so he's going remote. Yay, Noah! Good job. Yes. And nope, he is not here today. Well, he's here now. There you go. All right, compassion. Yeah, I let her in. Compassion means to notice when others are feeling upset and trying to help. Now, we can't actually do compassion for the person in the story, right? We're not in the story. We're not in the place that our character's in. But showing compassion is thinking about how can I improve the situation? You see somebody out at recess that is sad. How could you show compassion? Writer? Ask them what's wrong, or just even go up and say, hey, would you like to play with me? Right? Noticing that somebody's, having a trouble in some way and trying to help. Sometimes you guys are really good about this in my room, and I'm probably sure that you are also good in Mrs. Aubin's room. Sometimes teachers need compassion, don't we? And those people who are on Zoom today, you know how sometimes it was hard to get into those tests, and you guys showed us compassion. You didn't yell at us or make us feel bad. You noticed that we were, having troubles, and you tried to help by being patient, right? So so those are the things that today, being an ethical person, we're going to focus on while we're reading today's story. All right, today's story is called Nazrine's Secret School. All right, and all of my friends here have a copy, but I'm going to show, and there's on the assignment today, I'm going to go ahead and read this for everybody who's here, but just know that I also have the version where you can read it yourself. I also have it on a movie version, so you can watch it being read to you again later if you would like to. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out a little bit, and I'm going to go to my dock camera, which was on earlier and not now, so that's a little disturbing. All right, let me get there it's thinking. There we go. All right, so if you're here, you can follow along with your story that you have in front of you. You have the book in front of you, so you can see the pictures better. My friends who are at home, I will do it under the dock camera. I'm going to turn off the light so you can see better. There we go. All right, and you'll notice it's Nazrine's Secret School. What do you notice about Nazrine's name? What are you thinking when you hear that name? Haley?
I think it's like a plant or a bean.
Okay, so it makes you think of something else. Okay, plant or bean instead of a name. Marin? It sounds like she's from somewhere different, right? So we have a different name. Remember, maybe it's kind of the idea of Sangol, where you have a slightly different name. Can I help you, Mrs. Oh, okay. Well, it makes it hard for you, for sure. Let me see if I can. No, too quiet. All right, let me see. I don't have chat either. Oh, here it is. All right, well, you are, yeah. Let me, but you were, yeah, no, okay, that should be better now. You were co-host a minute ago. Did it toss you out, Mrs. Aubin? Who knows? All right. So obviously, she's from a different place. A true story from Afghanistan. Afghanistan. Does anybody know where Afghanistan is? No? Finn's hands up. Finn, do you know where Afghanistan is? You need to take off your hood, my friend. Thank you. You've heard the name of it? Okay. Wow, I got a couple of other hands. Anybody at home have heard of Afghanistan? Sonny? I don't have anybody's faces up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sonny. What? It's in China. Well, it's its own country, so it's not inside China. It's not in China because China's its own country. But very nice attempt for sure. Lucas, what do you think? Surrounded in trees. And how do you know that? Okay. So you've seen it on military, like a movie or a clip on TV? Gotcha. Okay. Uh-oh. I jumped ahead. Here we go. Well, here is our, so we know we are here in the United States, and we know Biblioboro is from Colombia, and we know Rain School is from Chad. You guys all remembered that. So Nazarene Secret School is from Afghanistan. And Afghanistan, so you, Sonny, said China, and you guys were guessing the name might be from China. So it's near China. It is in Asia, but it's not, it's separate. It's a different country than that. And it is, look how far it is from us. We're over here, all the way over here. Is that a big airplane flight? For sure. Can we drive there? No, because we'd have to go through an ocean, right? So that would be an airplane ride. More than a day's airplane ride, and probably not something we would take on just one. We'd have to connect to another place. So I'm going to show you a little bit of what it looks like. So Lucas had an idea that, so here's Afghanistan closer up in our map. You'll notice that there's a bunch of other countries nearby. Iran is a country maybe you've heard of before, and Pakistan, Turkmenistan, actually can't talk today, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and there's all these other ones with probably some stranger names. And look at this picture here. So it looks pretty green there, doesn't it? But actually, most of it does not look green. They do have some green areas, but a lot of it is they do get snow there. It gets cold. It also gets very hot. It can get hot. It has lots of, and so I'm giving you a bit of schema here so that when we read the story, you have a bit of an idea of what's going on. So you'll notice a lot of it's rocky and dry, but it's not the entire place. You can see some pictures. Do they have some interesting architecture, some interesting buildings? Yes, beautiful buildings. Some cities. Just giving you some ideas of some of the things you might see there if you were in Afghanistan. Sometimes we see pictures and we just assume that all of it's like a certain area, but it's not. Can you see all those? Pretty neat, huh? Okay, so keep that in mind as we're talking through today about some different places. All right, so I'm going to go back to my story. Here we go. I'm going to read, there's a little section in the beginning that's really important, the author's note. And this author's note is not in the other version that I have attached to this assignment. So I want you to listen really closely. All right, are you ready? So if you're here, you can hit right to this page and read along with me if you'd like. The Global Fund for Children, a nonprofit organization committed to helping children around the world, contacted me about basing a book on a true story from one of the groups they support. I was immediately drawn to an organization in Afghanistan that founded and supported secret schools for girls during 1996 to 2001 reign of the Taliban. The founder of these schools, who requested anonymity, shared the story of Nazreen and her grandmother with me. Nazreen's name has been changed. So Nazreen is not the name of the real girl for the true story, but is a typical name that might be from that country. Before the Taliban seized control of Afghanistan, 70% of school teachers were women. 40% of doctors were women. 50% of the students at the Kabul University were women. After the Taliban seized control of Afghanistan, girls weren't allowed to attend school or university. Women weren't allowed to work outside the home. Women weren't allowed to leave home without a male relative as a chaperone. Women were forced to wear a burqa that covered their entire head and body with only a small opening for their eyes. So I want you to use your empathy right now. Put yourself in a place of a woman or a girl that might have lived in Afghanistan at that time. Think about how that might feel. If you're a boy, think, well, it doesn't, those things don't necessarily apply to me, but think about if you were a girl at that time. Use your empathy. I'm going to let you keep thinking about that. There was no singing or dancing or kite flying. Art and culture in the birthplace of the immortal poet Rumi was banished. The colossal Bamiyan Buddhas carved into the side of a mountainside were destroyed. Did you see those carvings? One of the pictures had that carving, but they destroyed it. Well, if you'll notice in the picture, I can go back and show it. It wasn't completely destroyed, but it was partly they did some bad things to it. Years of isolation and fear begun, but there was also bravery from citizens who defied the Taliban in many ways, including supporting the secret school for girls. Even now, after the fall of the Taliban in Afghanistan in 2001, danger remains. Still, schools are bombed, set on fire, and closed down. Still, there are death threats to teachers. Still, girls are attacked or threatened if they go to school. And still, the girls, their families, and their teachers defy the tyranny by keeping the schools open. Their courage never wavered. Okay, so now that you have some schema, let's read the story and imagine you're going to be an ethical person and you're going to think about how you feel, because I'm going to ask you when we're done to write about some of the things you were thinking about during the story. Okay? So you're gonna be doing some questioning, some inferring, some empathy during the story. And then when I'm done, I'm not going to talk about it yet. I'm going to want you to write a little bit about how you feel. So that's why you have your EL spiral out, friends, because you're going to write down about how you feel about this story, what you thought of. My granddaughter, Nazreen, lives with me in Herat, an ancient city in Afghanistan. Art and music and learning once flourished here. Then the soldiers came and changed everything. Oh, Logan Peters, I'm going to admit him. There we go. Hi, Logan. Then the soldiers came and changed everything. The art and music and learning were gone. Dark clouds hang over the city. Poor Nazarene sat at home all day because girls are forbidden to attend school. The Taliban soldiers don't want girls to learn about the world the way Nazrene's mama and I learned when we were girls. One night, soldiers came to our house. You see the picture in the back? And took my son away with no explanation. Remember who's telling the story? The grandma. The grandma said, the first page said my granddaughter. So the grandma's telling the story. So when she says her son, who is that to the girl in the story? Nazreen. Madison? Her dad. Right. That's her dad. We waited many days and nights for his return. Finally, Nazrene's frantic mama went searching for him, even though going out alone in the streets was forbidden for women and girls. Are you doing some empathy here? Thinking about it? The full moon passed our window many times as Nazarene and I waited. Get a little bit closer picture there. There we go. A little clearer. Nazarene never spoke a word. She never smiled. She just sat waiting for her mama and papa to return. I knew I had to do something. I heard whispers about a school, a secret school for girls, behind a green gate in a nearby lane. I wanted Nazrene to attend the secret school. I wanted her to learn about the world as I had. I wanted her to speak again. So I like the interesting picture. I'm just going to let you kind of take a look here. So one day, Nazrene and I hurried down the lanes until we came to the green gate. Luckily, no soldier saw us. I tapped lightly. The teacher opened the gate and we quickly slipped inside. We crossed the courtyard to the school, one room in a private house filled with girls. Nazrene took a place at the back of the room. Please, Allah, open her eyes to the world, I prayed as I left her there. Nazrene didn't speak to the other girls. She didn't speak to the teacher. At home, she remained silent. Are you imagining how she might be feeling right now? I was fearful that the soldiers would discover the school, but the girls were clever. They slipped in and out of school at different times so as not to arouse suspicion. And when the boys saw soldiers near the green gate, they distracted them. You getting a good look at the picture, my friend? So here's the boys. Here's the soldier. Look at what's going on in the back there. I heard I heard of a soldier who pounded on the gate, demanding to enter. But all he found was a room filled with girls reading the Koran, which was allowed. The girls had hidden their schoolwork, outwitting the soldier. One of the girls, Mina, sat next to Nazreen every day, but they never spoke to each other. While the girls were learning, Nazreen stayed inside herself. My worry was deep. Who's the my? Who's the my? The grandma. The grandma's worry. Okay, there we go. When school closed for a long winter recess, Nazreen and I sat by the fire. Relatives gave us what food and firewood they could spare. We missed her mama and my son more than ever. Would we ever know what had happened? Okay, so why are people bringing them food and firewood? Why are they, can you remember what the rules were? What were the rules, Cooper? They can't go outside. Why? You're right. Who's not allowed to go outside? Women and girls, unless they have some sort of man with them, right? And do they have a man in their family at the moment? No, because what happened to the man? The soldiers took the dad, right? So isn't that hard? Can you imagine how it would be if you're not allowed? All right. The day Nazreen returned to school, Mina whispered in her ear, I missed you. And Nazreen answered back, I missed you too. With those words, her first since her mama went searching, Nazreen opened her heart to Mina. And you can tell by the picture here what they're discussing. And she smiled for the first time since her papa was taken away. At last, little by little, day by day, Nazreen learned to read, to write, to add and subtract. Each night, she showed me what she had discovered that day. Windows open for Nazreen in that little schoolroom. Many of us are seeing this picture, and I can obviously tell from your excitement there, you have something to tell me. All right, Evie? When we were inferring our topic, this was one of the pictures, right, Paxton? Does this, do we have a better idea what this was actually about then? Now? Yeah, it helps to have the story with it, doesn't it? To help explain it. All right, when it says windows open for Nazreen in that little schoolroom. Can everybody at home see that too? So were they real windows? No, they're not real windows. She learned about the artists and writers and scholars and mystics who long ago made Herat beautiful. Nazreen no longer feels alone. The knowledge she holds inside will always be with her, like a good friend. That picture looks familiar too, yes? Yes. Now she can see blue sky beyond those dark clouds. As for me, my mind is at ease. I still wait for my son and his wife, but the soldiers can never close the windows that have opened for my granddaughter. Inshallah, which means with the help of God. So this is a true story. We obviously, Josh said they never came back. You mean the parents? Yeah. So that is not part of the story we know. So we have to, So that is definitely something, Josh, you could write about when we, because we're going to write about what we're thinking about. So if you could take out your EL spiral, everybody at home, grab that EL spiral to the next convenient page. And you're going to answer this question. What does this story make you think about? We're going to have about 3 or 4 minutes of just writing time. Okay? There's no right or wrong answer. There's no wrong or right answer. Try to use your capitals and your periods. All right? So Josh, we'll have a conversation in a little bit. I know that you're excited about it, but I know you've got lots of questions for sure, right? But I want you just start writing down what this story makes you think about. Just like there's the question on the board. So my friends at home, be writing about what does this story make you think about? And we'll do some sharing in just a couple minutes. When I was reading the story, what kind of thoughts were you thinking of? Did I help you? Oh, pencil?
Yep.
I have three You're all things, my friend. And then you can put it next to the disinfectant wipes. That's where I put all the ones I find, and then I disinfect them and then put them in this container.
That's the strategy, because you're wondering what we're going to do.
That's what I'm doing. I like it. Okay. This one. There you go. Try your dad.
Don't get stuck on spelling,
Yeah,
guys.
just write what your thoughts are. It doesn't need to be perfect. These are just that you're pouring your ideas out.
Most of you know how to spell the word, you just don't think you do. Because once you do it, it's usually right.
And got name on the screen. If you're worried about how to spell her name, it's right there on the screen or on your book. There's no right answer, friends. Just what are you thinking? No right answer. Well, the whole book is attached to this lesson. So when we're done here, we can. And it's both in written form and in. Okay, I'm going to give it that. I know some of you aren't done and some of you are still having trouble thinking, but we're going to go for about 30 more seconds to get some ideas down. Oh boy, I'm going to run out of time. Never the perfect amount. All right. Going to do a little pair share, but I think for time purposes, I'm going to go ahead and wait on that. Does anybody at home want to share what they wrote about their thoughts about okay, Lila, go ahead and unmute yourself there and tell me what you were thinking what did the story make you think about?
So, it made me think about that that girls should be able to go to school, and that why are the men taken away, because she's sad about that.
Okay, all right, nice job. Anybody else at home want to share something they were thinking about? Logan, you want to share an idea?
The war 100 years ago when boys could only go to school.
Okay, so things were a lot like that in the past, right? And now it's kind of hard to believe that would still happen now, right? That's hard to believe that would still happen now. How about here? Who wants to share something here about what they were thinking? Lucas. Okay, so I made Lucas think about the bad things that had happened in the war in Afghanistan and soldiers, things that happened then. Okay, very nice. Ellie. Why did they take the parents? Yeah, that's a good question. Definitely. Josh. Wondering if the soldiers are bad. It's a good wonder. Haley.
It made me think about, like, if I had to stay home all day and all night, and we're not singing, it goes over your head. I feel like I would be kidnapped in a different world with soldiers, and then my mom and dad got taken away that, and then it was like my dream. And then when I went to school, I could see friends, and I would stay quiet.
Okay, so it sounds like Haley was definitely empathizing, was imagining that if she was in that situation, and was saying that it'd be pretty hard to have to stay home all the time and have to not be at school, and with her parents, how she would feel if her parents were taken. Paxton.
I wonder how they got late, because in the author's note it said the schools were new.
Okay.
Can you repeat what he said for the onliners, please?
Yes. Well, sort of. Say it one more time, Paxton.
I wonder how they got a plane in that.
Like an airplane?
Yeah.
Okay. So you wonder how they got an airplane there? Gotcha. Okay. That works. Sawyer, what are you thinking? Okay, Sawyer's wondering if the parents are going to come back, and a little worried about that too, for sure. All right, so my friends, I know you've got lots of ideas. We're going to keep going for a minute though. So here, oh, I went too far. So our learning target today has to do with being able to determine the gist of Nazarene's Secret School, and being able to identify the central message or lesson of why you think the author was trying to teach you about this story. So if you, so what we're gonna, oh, Laurel, all right. So reading for gist and recounting the story. So up to this point, we have done 2 gists already with the books that we have read already. And I'm going to just real quick show you. So my friends at home, you have a slide that you can write this in, or it's also in our workbooks on page 13, I think. Yep, page 13. Thank you, Abby. You're ready to rock. That's good. Page 13 in your workbook if you have one at home. Otherwise, you're going to find this nice. I made a different slide so it'd be bigger for you to see all the parts. Okay, my friends at home. So here it is here. But today we're going to work on the gist a little bit independently with some other people. So I have this sort of worked out, and I'm going to do some breakout groups, and I'm going to have you guys help each other out with the story. So first we're going to look for somebody. Well, actually, we're at the top of our paper, we're going to write the very top. Let's write the name of the story. So overcoming challenges in, what's the name of our story, friends? Nazarine's Secret School. All right, Nazarine's Secret School. And if you have, my friends at home are not probably seeing the book at this time, but the name of the author is on our story by Jeanette Winter is her name. So I'm going to write that up here, Jeanette Winter. If you have your workbook at home, you can just write that right in on page 13. If you don't, just jot that down on your work or your EL Spiral for right now. All right. So we're going to do, I'm going to do a breakout group, Mrs. Aubin, when I do the directions. And, oh, she'll need to eventually go back and sit because you're going to do it in groups. They're going to work in groups. So go ahead and get that that part done, Ms. Renee, right there. And then I'm going to take you back into some groups here. Yes, you certainly can. All right, so this is what I would like you to do. We've done 2 of these together. And I want you, I'm going to put you into a small group, and and you guys are going to talk too. So you're going to, but we're going to have to stay in our spot a little bit, but I'm going to have you, I've got that worked out so that you guys can be in little groups near each other. So you can turn your bodies, but your body needs to stay in your chair. Okay. So I would like you to try to think about, so the somebody, who was the somebody in the story? Where were they? What did they want? But what was the challenge? And so, how was if you were Mrs. Aubin's hand, you have that last little part there with the solution or the resolution. Okay. So you're going to fill out these 5 boxes and you're going to talk it over in a small group. Hey guys, I already figured out your small groups you're not choosing. I already have them organized. All right. So your guys are, I've already figured them out. They're where you can stay in your seat and not have to worry about anybody. All right. So in my friends at home, I'm going to put you in a breakout group and I want you to talk in your little group about what you think each part, what you're going to write in each one of those sections. All right. I'm going to leave it up there. So you guys can talk about somebody and so where they are, what they wanted, but what was the challenge, what's the problem, and how did they solve it? Okay. All right. So Mrs. Aubin, I'm going to go ahead and send them, well, maybe if I can get it to do it. Breakout groups. Let's see. It doesn't make me. All right. 12 participants. So I'm going to do, 4 breakout groups, so 3 to 4 friends in a room. All right, guys, when you get the invitation, go ahead and click. All right. Okay, so you guys are you 2 months together, so you can kind of turn the desk if you want to. Can you guys hear me? Can you come up? 1, 2. Nice. All right. You're going to have to unmute yourself and answer some of these questions. You guys know the characters are? No one wants to tell us the characters. 1, 2, 3. To you. Mason, you and Cole. Ms. Renee, I'll come back. All right. So 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. No friends back together. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2. What was the setting? Here and actually. 3. There's more than Okay, everybody back. Back a little bit here. Get that side of the side. Oh, so who's the main character? The girl. So go to Facebook. That's why I got your book. Right, guess that. All right, here you go. Where? Somebody. Elena, what does she want? All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I know you're obviously not done yet. My friends at home, oh, I gotta close all the rooms. So you got a good start. Thank you. I like that you're working through it. Some of you got a little farther than the rest. we will definitely finish up. I wanted to get started with this, but we'll do a lot of work with this book next week. And you have a long weekend. So we'll start back up with it, so don't worry. Go ahead and close up your story, but give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down or a sideways thumb. How are you feeling so far with getting a gist? Getting the gist. All right. All right. So I got, oh, that's good. I got quite a few thumbs up. All right, my friends at home, go ahead and you don't have to get anything more finished than what you've already got started. All right. And we'll continue again on, we'll see you actually next, the time at 12:45. And you're all done for this part, okay? All right, my friends, I'm gonna go ahead and, all right, this is all.